Today's youth need teachers, volunteers, and most of all, well, they need you. I'm Doug Edwards, and I'm going to be talking with real youth mentors and students to give you the knowledge you need to be the best youth worker possible. This is Youth Worker on Fire. Hello, youth workers and friends and family. Listen, this is very important. Remember to share this episode with someone you know needs it, someone who has not been introduced also to Youth Worker on Fire. And remember to send to us some stories about yourself and about your student ministry or about your family, depending on who you are, whether you're in Christian education, you're a youth pastor, a volunteer. We want to hear from you and know what's happening. And also, remember, we're at youthworkeronfire@gmail.com, youthworkeronfire@gmail.com. You can also send us a voicemail on there if you want to. Make it as clear as possible. If we can use it on the air, we'll do that. So here's the next episode. Power in planting. You may never see the full harvest of your work, but God honors the planting. And so it's important that you know that it's an abandonment to doing what you know God is wanting you to do and reaching out to students and their families. Galatians 6:9 says this, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." I've said it before, and certain things I'll repeat and remind you that I've repeated them. But when I went through training with Youth for Christ, and remember, I was a musician by trade. That's what I wanted to do. It's what I went to school for, and God had another idea. And so I was trained by one of the greatest organizations, Youth for Christ, and for the Campus Life Division. And the one thing they said was, it may be 5 years before you hear about what has happened to one or some of your students and how God's changed their lives. And sure enough, at 5 years, I heard from a student, and he said, "I just want you to know, I heard what you said in our campus life meetings, and I came to know Christ this year." So it's important that you know that you're not going to see, just like planting a seed in the ground, you're not going to see a plant pop up immediately. It takes time, and those who plant know that they have to be patient. 1 Corinthians 3:6-7 says, "Paul planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the increase." So I had to be reminded, and still have to be reminded over and over. And if you have a spouse somewhere along in your life, or a good friend, my wife has often reminded me, listen, it's not about you, it's about God. God has to do this. You do your part, He'll do His. And she would remind me of that. Every late night prayer, every ride home after student ministry group, your youth group, whatever you call it, every tear, every tear that's shed, it all counts in God's kingdom. You're sowing eternal seed. Remember that. It's not even like something that's going to just grow up here on earth. It's what you're going to see in eternity, and some of it you're going to see here. Whatever you see here on earth, it's going to be a much bigger picture, and there's a lot bigger ripple effects that have taken place that you will see in heaven, and you will be shocked and surprised, because what we do, what we're just faithful at, God adds such an increase and reaps such a harvest that we can't, of souls that we can't even imagine. Remember, Jesus reminded His disciples of that as well, that He's going to make them not just fishermen as Peter and several of them were, but He said, I'm going to make you fishers of men. So you guys, you ladies and gentlemen, are not just planters or not just people who water and disciple, but you are people that are fishers of men. You're planting seeds for the kingdom and for eternity. See you next time on Youth Worker on Fire.
You've been listening to the Youth Worker on Fire podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and tell your friends. Also, leave a comment and tell us what you think. Stay tuned for more informative episodes.